Let's humble for our prayer.
Our elder here. This lesson discussion. So
just to continue. Blessed are those who are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Now, as we are going to see, we have got various marriages. And now here what the writer is talking about is the marriage that in fact that Jesus Christ as the bridegroom, as married as the, the Christians or the church as their as his bride, isn't it? No, once he has married this one, you know, we are his bride. And you know, when we are his bride now, the key text is telling us for those who are ready to get into that marriage, those who are going in fact to be God's Christ's bride, are going to be what? Are going to be
Blessed.
the blessed people. So, as we are going to go through, I would like to urge ourselves so that also we be the bride of Jesus Christ, so that we can be married with Him, so that at least we can also be blessed with the as the others are blessed. Now, as we are going through the images, you know, we are going to have the examples of these images.
Yes.
And in any marriage unions, there are the good side of it and there are the bad side of it. So we are going to see the various examples, which in fact which did happen in the Bible, where we got in fact some people got married, and what in fact their marriage there is us. So. Normally, when we talk about marriage, marriage is a covenant between two parties.
Yes.
And these two parties, one party must be feminine and the other party must be masculine. So when they come together, they make a union. You know, there are some parameters that they have to use when they are making that union. And now in that parameters, we found that they must be good, as we have said, and bad, but most particularly, we concentrate more on the good part of it. So Uh, on Sunday,
Yeah. Just before we do the Sunday part, let Madam try to introduce the introduction part on how we
yes,
learn the
yes, yes,
lesson.
yes. No problem.
Yes. It is about one flesh.
Yeah.
One flesh. For this reason, we find out that when we read Genesis 2, verse 23 to 25, I'm going to talk about from verse 2, verse 23. It says, "Then the man said, at least here is one of my own kind, bone taken from my bone, flesh from my flesh, and her name will be woman, because she was taken from a man." Now, here we find out that God made Adam first, and he saw that the man was alone. He was lonely. Now, all animals were two. So he wanted to make Adam also to be as happy as other animals. So he decided to make somebody who will be in support of Adam. So he made Adam sleep, and he took his rib to make a woman. And we find out that the woman was very beautiful. And even Adam was very pleased with what God had made to him. Now, the man and woman were naked, but they were not embarrassed because they were one. Before Satan could go and lie to Eve, they were very happy. They were together, and they were naked, but they didn't know that they were naked, because Satan had not gone to deceive them. And if we read in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 29, none of us here, none of us have their own bodies. Instead, we feed them, take care of them, just as Christ does the church. Yani, it means that Christ is the husband to the church, isn't it? Likewise, we are also asked to be faithful to our spouses, for being one. We are supposed to be, for we are members of the same body. Like, what can I say? When God made Adam and Eve, they were supposed to be one, and the Lord blessed them to be one. But because Satan had an hidden agenda, Satan never wanted to be, never wanted peace in this world. So he's the one who decided to break that love which was there. That's what I can say.
Yeah. So for me, just to add on what our leader here had introduced on the introduction part, was that as we read the key text, there is something that is recorded there. This is the principles of marriage and how they are related to our Christian life. And as you see from the key text, there is something that is recorded in our key text that says, that is quoted like, "Blessed are those who are called to the marriage supper of the Lamb." Meaning that there are people who are invited in this marriage.
Yes.
The marriage that is being taught in this lesson today is a spiritual marriage. It's not a physical marriage that we are going to see, because as you read from the introduction part, we see the author saying that the marriage that we see today, it has been somehow been separated, not the way God planned it to be, but
Yes.
it is another type of marriage that is not reflecting that relationship that God wanted to exist between us. So the marriage that we are going to look at this, as you look at the image part, we see there is two marriage there. The first relationship, we see the marriage that is on earth, a man and a woman. The second one, we see somewhere where there are two people who are engaged in a covenant. So that is the spiritual marriage that you are going to see in our lesson today. And then to add on what Madam has just said, one flesh, is that when God was instituting marriage, there was something that God wanted us to see. God was trying to teach us the same way the marriage that was instituted, that is the same way the relationship that God wants between us and Him. But when Satan saw that this marriage that God has instituted here on earth This story in the book of Ezekiel. And we find here there's two things that are mentioned. The first one is a woman, and the second thing that is mentioned in this story is time. When this woman or this bride, it came a time whereby he started seeing that he needed love. And God said, when the time came when this woman needed love, God was there to show him that love. And he took care of him until the time where the bride, it came to a time where the bride now reached an age whereby he needed love, and God gave the love to the bride. And the next part we find that after the bride had now grown up, there's a time whereby the bride started seeing that now I'm beautiful, now I'm dressed. We see the type of clothes that God gave to the bride. We see the type of perfumes, the type of food God gave him. But now it came to a time whereby the bride is now trying to use what God had given him to use for his own. This is something that God was trying to teach us, that we Christians, when we are in our Christian life, there's a time whereby we needed God most, and God was there for us. But now it has reached a time we don't need this God anymore. We have gone to our own business, because you have a position, you have a job, you have money. Now you see that money is everything. I don't need God anymore. It's the same example that we are being reflected on to this bride. It reached a time where the bride needed God no more. But God is saying, as you read the book of Ezekiel, you continue down there, you find that God never left the bride. God was still there for the bride until God came and crowned him with the grace of salvation. God was still there to take care of that bride. So that is what I can just add. I can just say on the Monday part. So I could welcome Madam to add something on the Monday part.
I think you have just completed. Let me just add some few points here. It says that it is in Ezekiel 16, verse 4 to 14, isn't it? I'm just going to read a bit of it.
Yeah.
When you were born, no one cut your umbilical cord, or washed you, or rubbed you with salt, or wrapped you with a cloth. But when I passed by, I saw you smuggling in your own blood. But I won't let